Hello and welcome to my shop. A while back our friend Jacobson challenged us to make a flashlight cover, as he showed how he made his flashlight covers but couldn't come up with different shapes. Well, I actually took the challenge and made a couple of these flashlight covers over the last couple of years. Well, now, short before Christmas, Carl and Ellen Stratton challenged us for a Christmas ornament challenge. So I thought about, well, why not make a flashlight cover into a Christmas ornament? In the next couple of minutes I show you how I made this, well, flashlight house cover, or whatever you want to call it. And the new part for me on that one is I use a carving tool to get the texture on the outside here, on the base, and it looks like a brick, and it came out pretty nice. So follow me along how I made it, and when you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. When you don't enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. But please, please leave a comment, as I am always looking forward to get a comment from you. And well, with that said, it's up to my next project. With greetings from good old Germany, your Peter Freitag. Thank God it's Friday. Okay, for a flashlight cover I prepared this blank here, and I rough turned it, had a tenon on either side, and had it in the big 50mm jars, and drilled with a Forstner bit into the holes. Actually, this one here is a little larger than the flashlight, but it doesn't matter. Now I start by chucking up the lighter base, and I'm turning down the base now up to the point how it should go. Okay, I'm using my spindle roughing gouge and get it down into a round shape, as there are still these flat spots on here. Okay, almost there. Now I get this a little shorter so you can reach the bottom and the switch of the flashlight, and I'm using my spindle gouge for that. Okay, in order to prevent tear out here at the inside, I can demonstrate that. I cut from the inside to the outside. I'll just demonstrate the tear out on when I do it the other way around. See, you get heavy tear out here on the inside, and to prevent this from the tear out, I go the other way around. time to do some sanding. I finished that by just scraping on here, and now I sand this down as I won't come back to this place in the end. Just a quick tip for sanding. I made these spacer rings here slightly dished in, as the jaws here, they have got a radius at the bottom, so I'm using these 2 spacer rings now, which gives me a clearance so I can also sand on the inside here. This is just for sanding, so it won't be that bad now. Okay, so let me sand down this piece. Okay, now after I sanded it down to 600, I just apply some sanding sealer to this, to the bottom, as I won't come back to it. Okay, let this dry and then put on a second coat and take it off and go over to the top part here. Well, I'll head over for the top part then. In order to mount the top part, I remove this one here. Keep the small spacer ring inside, as I want to have to align this now, and well, by doing it this way, you can see it wobbles a little bit it's a little out of center. So what I'm doing, I get the tailstock up and just get this open a little and dial the tailstock in, get it aligned, and that's the way I wanted it. Okay, tighten it, not too much, as I don't want to break this. And now it's similar to the bottom piece, and I start by roughing it with a roughing gouge. Time to have some fun with the roughing gouge. Feels quite nice. Yes, it is. Okay, I don't care about this ring here, as this will vanish. Now I back up the tailstock and start on working on this side here. I have to get it into the diameter a little shallower than this one, so I start by widening this hole now. No, I just screw this up and then I'll start drilling. Okay, you should take your time to adjust this, and by using the indexing system here, it's pretty easy to get this done. So now that the last hole is done, it's time to widen this hole up to the diameter of the, well, a little shallow to the diameter of the flashlight. So the flashlight sits on the rim here when it comes into here, like so. So with the compass set to a little shallow to the diameter of the flashlight, go ahead and mark the diameter I can actually turn away. Okay, that's the maximum diameter I can go, and now I'll just go ahead and try to widen this one now. This feels nice. Now I'm just making a small recess over here in the top, where in the end the roof will be seated on. Okay, this is it, and now it's up for shaping the top part, the lighthouse part of the, well, of the lighthouse. And I go in, I want to have the terrace, or whatever you want to call it, up to, I guess up to here. Yep, somewhere around here. Okay. Swoop. So I get this shallower now. Let's see. Final touch with a skew, and just a little more detailed here, and then this part should be done. Yeah, up to some sanding. Okay, I sanded the top down to 600, and now I'm using my Dremel tool with a diamond bit inside here, normally used for engraving in glass, and I like sand down the inside of the holes. Therefore I indexed it back to a point where I can go in straight. Okay, now all the insides are kind of sanded. Okay, in case you're wondering why I had this high speed, well, the diameter isn't that big, so you can actually go on a higher speed but have a slow, well, grinding speed. And this thingy works real nice, and well, so even the inside of the holes are sanded. Okay, in order to finish turning this, I made this mandrel from beech, and it's a 3 pieces, and it works this way. I put on the top, and it's a very tight fit on here, but I use this spacer ring here to keep it away from the jaws of the chuck, and this is the position it should go in. I come up with my tailstock and apply a little pressure so everything is rotating in there, and now it's time to close the jaws. For the next part, take the bottom piece and align it to the with the grain. I still got the marks on here, the flat marks from the original turning, so I go ahead and now this piece comes into handy, and this applies pressure to the bottom part, so everything is tied together. I'm just applying a little pressure here. It's running pretty true. Close everything, and I can start shaping the lighthouse. I start by truing up the whole piece again, and I go in as deep that this mark will vanish in the end, and I want to have a very smooth surface here on the top, so I'm using my skew for that. Okay. Okay, this will be the later, well, I call it balcony, and now I can go ahead and turn this side here, the top side, down to, well, this is a smooth surface now, and I don't touch it again, other than with a little sanding. Now I go ahead and make the cone shape. For the cone shape, it is very important to have either a very straight line on here, or you should be thin on the top and going convex to the outside, as this gives a more raising appearance of the whole thing. If you're going concave like so, it looks like a fat lighthouse. So going a little concave, this is overdone here, makes the whole appearance more raised from the actual height. Okay. So I start by using my parting tool here in order to get this down to the diameter I want, and I will go down for the top first and just a little thinner, as I got about 3 millimeters to the actual diameter of the inside, and I I'll go to 2 millimeters like that on here on the top. Okay, I'm using my parting tool and part and get this, the top of the base, down to well, 32 millimeters, which is a little thinner than the top here. Here we go. Okay, now it's a matter of setting up the tool rest for a nice straight line to cut, and I'll do it this way. I set up the calipers to get the same distance on both ends. And this way I just have to stay parallel to the tool rest now. Okay, I'm trying to use the skew on that one. This is nice. Now, a special thing for the balcony is this, well, this looks like a washer at the moment. And I don't want to have that. I want to have an angled part on that. I'm using my spindle gouge for shaping the bottom here. Okay, this looks awesome. So it's a slight convex shape, and that's how I wanted it. So I start on making the bricks now before I start sanding on the actual sanding on the surface. And I start by making the horizontal lines first. Okay, here's the deal. Special for the carving chisel, I actually shaped the tip of this scraper here. You can use a spear's point scraper, but this carving tool has got a slight flat bottom. So I shaped this, well, like the tool here. And what I'm just doing now is by going in perpendicular to the surface, I scribe lines as deep as I feel comfortable with. Okay, short explanation how I did it. I came in slightly underneath the center by having the handle lifted up a little, and by keeping it the scraper stationary on the tool rest, I just push down the handle, which pushes this the tip into the wood. This way I can get pretty even grooves on here. Okay, now it's up for some carving. Now I start carving, and I made this tiny mallet, as a couple of you can do it just by pushing the chisel through, but I can't. So I start by slowly carving away the marks I made before. I let this dry now for a couple of hours. Then I come back and buff out the surface. It doesn't matter in the carving. It looks pretty nice, and the carving actually, due to that it isn't sanded down that much, or that it isn't sanded down at all, it gives the nice addition in the contrast. Okay, so you'll be back when I turn the top for it. Now I'm taking the lid and this is running nice, and it's looking beautiful. Okay, get this up for a little support. Not too much pressure. Then start turning away the knob there. Nice shape. Time for some sanding. Now that the roof is finished and sanded to 600, it's time to add some sanding sealer. Well, actually the famous Mike Wald sanding sealer mix. This is awesome to apply. Dries quick and gives a nice shiny finish. Okay, so let this dry, buff it out, and then I'll be back when I glue in the flashlight, so it becomes my Lighthouse Christmas ornament thingy. Okay, this is the moment of truth now, as I got the flashlight still works, and I hope I can unscrew this, because there might be, it's breaking loose pretty easy. Just checking for the there's no squeeze out on here.
No squeeze out on there. Get rid of the blue tape and get it back on. Grain match is perfect and flashlight's working, so I can use it as a flashlight, but I want to have it as an ornament. That's what I made the top for. This goes on like so, and it's actually, it helps up the whole thing that you can hang it on, but it's pretty heavy. So when I switch on the light, you see the lighthouse is actually getting the light out of its sides because of the cone shape inside the inside here. And this is really the way I wanted it. So this is the guide, the light guiding you into the secure harbor. And I hope this makes it as a Christmas ornament. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, or whatever you are celebrating all around the world. And the main thing is there should be peace on earth and stay safe with what you are doing. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but please leave a comment in my video section, as this is the most important part for me. Getting comments back from you, as this makes it worth for me, and I know that there is at least somebody appreciating what I am doing. Okay. See you next time with another project.